I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay, so the first question is why go natural? If you're here tonight, you probably already are a little bit motivated and you might have your own reasons for going natural. But I'm just gonna go over a couple of the common ones, the biggies. So beauty products that are sold in stores often contain synthetic and harmful ingredients. A lot of stores have actually become a lot more mindful of this. So you'll notice sometimes if you shop online at, I think Ulta does it, Target does it, they'll have little icons or at least a place where they will list almost like a little badge, like this product is green or this product is vegan, to kind of help the consumer filter out any of those beauty products that might have harmful substances in them. So it is getting a little bit easier to find things that are at least somewhat natural in the store. But even depending on the product, even certain quote unquote natural products may not be as natural as they're made out to be if you look at the ingredient list. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is that when you make your own products, you get to customize it. So if you find, a rose and lavender scented lotion that's natural at Target, but you like lavender, but you're not so into rose, you're kind of out of luck. If you make it your own, you can add as many scents as you like and take away as many as you don't. So those are kind of the two catch-all reasons. But before I go any further, I do always want to make sure that I just make a couple notes about safety, because obviously I want you all to be safe and happy while you're being naturally beautiful. I am, as I said, a librarian and a CTRS. I'm not a dermatologist. And a lot of the things that we put, even just surface level on our skin, can affect what's going on inside of us and vice versa. So you want to make sure that, especially if you have any pre-existing conditions, but even if you don't have any that you know of, that you're checking with a dermatologist or a doctor before you're using any ingredients that are new to you. You want to keep essential oils out of reach of children and pets. And you also want to keep them away from your skin in their undiluted state. So even if you're a perfect specimen of health and you're an adult, you still want to avoid coming directly in contact with an undiluted essential oil. They are very, very strong, and it's not always safe to have that undiluted oil come directly in contact with your skin. So just something to be mindful of. So we want to keep them out of reach of children, pets, but we also want to exercise caution when using them ourselves. That goes along with the next point. Never apply an undiluted essential oil. I'll explain later how we dilute them so that they're safe. You never want to use essential oils internally or in your eyes. Just because they're natural doesn't mean that they're good to, pour directly into your eyes or have, consume it or have anything internal. There are also some oils that will make you sensitive to sunlight. Generally, most of them are the citrusy essential oils, but you definitely want to check before you use an essential oil and then go out in the sun, because just like certain acne medicines, they will have the same effect. So if anyone's ever used an acne medication and they warned you don't go out in the sun because it makes you more apt to burn, same basic principle. So these oils won't hurt you, but you just want to make sure that you're not exposing yourself to the sun's rays after applying it too soon. Any questions about safety? Because I always want to make sure everyone's okay with that. No? All righty. So now the fun part. So moving right along. So the first thing we can go over is hair care. So I put together a list of ingredients that are very, very commonly found in store-bought shampoos. Parabens, sulfates, and silicones, as well as phthalates, you might have heard before. They might be a little bit familiar to you because, again, there has been a little bit more awareness about this now. So you want to always avoid those, but there are a lot of other ingredients that might be kind of hiding in there. So even if A store-bought shampoo has those badges like I spoke about before, where it says, oh, paraben free and sulfate free. It might still have, for example, synthetic fragrance. It might still have dyes. And those are things that you don't want either. They're toxic. They can cause cancer, aside from also environmental harm. Let's see. So also before I go on, I just wanted to also mention, a lot of times it's an either or situation. So kind of like I said before, you can have something that maybe says it's without parabens, but it doesn't say anything about sulfates, and they're in there too. So just like I noted at the bottom, it's a lot of times an either or situation. There's never really one where it's totally free of everything that you want it to be free of. So of course, natural ingredients that are different than these chemical ones aren't going to give you the same negative effects that chemical ingredients are going to give you. So by making your own shampoo with natural ingredients, it's going to be much healthier for you. And especially if you think about it, you know, your hair's on your head. So anything that's getting absorbed into your skin, that's awfully close to your brain. So you really want to be careful and mindful of that. And then on top of the absence of negative effects, you can also have a lot of positive effects that are added in. Essential oils have a lot of great benefits. So if you're choosing essential oils, A, just for scent, but also B, maybe for the effects they might have, you could actually have some really great results from that. So to make a basic liquid shampoo, you don't need much. You can just combine 1 cup of water with a 1/3 cup of liquid Castile soap and mix, and that's it. Personally, I use Dr. Bronner's. You can get it at Whole Foods. You can get it on Amazon. I think Target just recently started carrying it as well. And some of the ones in that line, they can be unscented. Some of them also have essential oil too, so it's a natural scenting. I believe there's unscented, there's lavender, and there's mint. There might be more, but those are the 3 that I know of. And you could always add your own oils as well to customize it, but it's kind of nice when they're in there already and you don't have to worry about that step. And then just an FYI that I learned the hard way, and I don't want you to have to learn the hard way. Castile soap can sometimes leave your hair kind of tangled. And the reason it does that is because a lot of shampoos that you would buy at the store that have those chemicals in them have chemicals to make your hair feel so smooth, and they, you know, have it detangle and everything. Because Castile soap doesn't have those chemicals, you might get some more tangles then. So just an easy fix is, rather than how I think a lot of us wash our hair where we kind of just like scrub it around, you just kind of want to more move it through your hair from an up to down motion. And that's going to help those tangles avoid creation. Any questions about shampoo before we move on to facial care? All right, moving right along. But if anything comes to you, again, feel free to just chime in. That's totally okay. Okay, so when we come to natural cleansers, there are 3 basic types that you can make. So there's water-based, there's soap-based, and there's oil-based. And we'll go through each one so that you can pick which one is right for you. It might also take some trial and error too, just to see what works with your skin, but I can at least kind of give you a little foundation. So the great thing about water-based cleansers, provides a great soothing rinse. It's great for sensitive skin because fewer ingredients means fewer things you can react to. However, if you want to remove makeup, which a lot of times a lot of us do, you're better off with soap-based or oil-based. So that leads us to soap-based cleansers. So they're very easy to customize, and they do a better job than the water cleansers of really clearing your skin of impurities. So even, you know, if you have really sensitive skin, just from my own experience, I tend to just actually use just straight water to clean my skin because I'm very sensitive. But if I went to a wedding and I had a lot of makeup on for the camera and I'm really looking to just get it all off, that might be an occasion where I use a soap or oil-based cleanser. So you can vary it depending on your need. You don't have to just commit to one. So then last but not least, we have the oil-based cleansers. They don't contain any water at all. They're fantastic for removing makeup. They are still gentle, even though they will remove makeup better than the other two. It's not a harsh kind of removal. And you can use an oil-based cleanser if you have oily skin. That's okay. Again, everyone is different, but as a general rule, an oil-based cleanser will not make your skin more oily if you're prone to oily skin. Because at the end of the day, you're wiping it off, right? You just use it to clean and then you get rid of it. So it's not like it's sitting on your face. So to get the most out of your cleanser, they have slightly different ways to be used to maximize the benefit. So water-based, you want to apply it to a cotton pad, and then you just gently wipe your skin with that pad. So it's very, very gentle. Soap-based, you're going to wet your skin first, put on the cleanser and massage it in. That's going to help it really kind of get in deep. So it's really doing a nice deep clean for you. And then you're going to rinse and dry. And make sure you rinse well because you don't want any of that soap residue sticking in your pores, because then you could have, pimples result or blackheads. So just make sure you rinse really well. Oil-based, you are not going to wet your skin first. It's going to go straight on dry skin. You're going to massage and then immediately remove it with a soft cloth. I will add here, there's actually a great product that I had just recently seen and started using that I highly recommend. It's called Makeup Eraser. And it's just a cloth that you wet it, you wipe, and it really is like a magic eraser. It just, all the makeup comes right off. So that's another option. The one side of the cloth is specifically for cleaning. The other side, the texture of the cloth is slightly different. So it's actually meant to be a gentle exfoliator. So you can use it for either or both. So when you're using these cleansers, that might be something you choose to use and to look into. Okay, face masks have actually become incredibly popular since after I made this PowerPoint, so it actually, timing worked out very well. So you may already be familiar with the benefits of face masks, but just to go over it again, they can really help purify skin, clean out the pores. They can help your pores look a little tighter, or help them look more minimal. They're relaxing, which in this day and age, we really could use some relaxation. They can even help revitalize aged skin. Any age is a beautiful age as far as I'm concerned, but if it's something that you're experiencing that you're self-conscious about, you do have that option of having some ingredients that do have some anti-aging benefits. They can soothe sensitive skin and they can alleviate dry skin. There's a lot of really great moisturizing masks out there for sure. They can even help with some spot treatment if you're having some blemishes, especially in the area where you're wearing your mask. I know a lot of us have been getting maskne, myself included. So spot treatment is always a nice perk to the masks. All right, so the best way to use your mask, if you get one from the store, if you choose to just buy one because you don't have the time to make one and you want to just buy one, I would just follow the directions that they give you on the package. But as a general rule, especially for your homemade ones, you want to clean and dry your skin first. You don't want to put it on dirty skin because the dirt is going to affect how it adheres to your skin. It's not going to work as well. So you want to clean your skin first, dry it off, apply the mask to your face, but avoid your eyes. That's why when you see masks, advertised and stuff, they always have the little eye cutouts, right? Because you don't want to have anything in your sensitive eye area and certainly not in your eye directly. Depending on the mask, you can leave it on anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour. Most of them are more in like the 10 to 15, maybe 20-minute range. Then you're just going to rinse off with warm water. The warm water is going to help your pores stay open to get all of that mask out before your pores close up again. So you want that water to be warm to get everything out, no residue. And then you're just going to pat dry and go out into the world with your glowing face. Okay, so if you are making your mask at home, which presumably a lot of you might be interested in doing, you want to make sure the clay you purchase is cosmetic grade. Some of the clay out there might have fillers. It may not be truly the best to put on your face or the safest. So you want to make sure it says cosmetic grade, just for your own safety. And if you have really sensitive and or really dry skin, you can add some milk, you can add honey, or you can add a carrier oil to protect your skin from getting too dry. Coconut oil is a fantastic carrier oil. It is comedogenic, so it will clog your pores if you just leave it on. But again, these are masks, we're taking them off. So it works as a great carrier oil. It's super hydrating. I've had personally fantastic results with that one. It smells nice. So I would definitely recommend trying that. Or honey. Honey is also, it has great antiseptic properties, which is a nice plus. So I would say either one of those, if you're not sure, I would start with those. But again, you can also add milk. And that'll just help protect your skin a little bit. And again, depending on what you're using, might have some benefits of its own. So I did some research. I put together a chart, which again, don't worry about copying it down now. The last thing I want is for this to be like stressful for anybody. So I'm sending all the slides to Jen, who is nice enough to agree to send it all out to you. So you will get this chart, not to worry. But basically I did some research and I put together a chart for types of clay, frequency of use for your skin type. So you at least have a starting point, because there are a lot out there. And if you don't have any sort of guide, it can be very overwhelming. So this way, at least it gives you kind of a starting point and narrows the field a bit. So you have at least a few that you can try. Okay, so now hopefully I haven't lost anyone and talked too much. We're going to have our chance to make our own facial scrubs. So in your kits that I packed you, you're going to see there's some coconut oil. There's like a plastic jar with, I think it had a white lid. There's some coconut oil in there. It's going to be kind of chunky because it's not fractionated, which is like when it's a liquid coconut oil. So it's going to kind of look like that. So you'll have your jar with that. And then there's also a bag with sugar and coffee grounds. So you can grab those. I'll give everyone a second. And then so you need those ingredients and then just a bowl and a spoon, which are also packed for you. And I'll give everyone a sec to get those out. And actually, while you're getting it out, just in case anyone is interested, because I want to make sure I get you all set up with everything you might need in terms of information. So if anyone's curious, the sugar that I packed for you, it's Anthony's Premium Organic Cane Sugar. This is what it looks like. I just got it from Amazon. Everything I purchased from Amazon because I wanted to be mindful of, some people are not comfortable going back out to stores yet or aren't able to. So I wanted to make sure that all the ingredients that you may ask about are all things that are purchased from Amazon that you don't have to go out to get. So this particular sugar, it's USDA certified organic, gluten-free, and vegan. And it's also batch tested and verified, which is an extra plus. And you can get it, I don't know if you can see the scale on the screen, but it comes in a really big bag. This is a 3-pound bag. So if you're planning on making gifts for Mother's Day or any other occasion where you might, or a bridal shower, anything like that, as a favor, this will set you up well. You won't have to buy like 3,000 bags of it. The coconut oil that I used is from Nutiva. I got a big one just because it was for the entire class. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they had smaller sizes that you could select. Also USDA organic and non-GMO. So again, the brand is Nutiva, if you're interested. The coffee grounds, unfortunately, finding coffee grounds is kind of hard these days, I think, because everyone likes their coffee pots and their K-cups. So the coffee was just Folgers, but everything else is organic and everything was able to be gotten on Amazon. So now that we probably all have our ingredients by now, so all you're gonna do is you're gonna pour everything in a bowl and you're gonna mix it. That's all you have to do. So I'm gonna mix mine as well. I'm gonna make a sample with you just so that if you're worried, you can compare the consistency. But the nice thing about this is there's not really a way to mess it up. So just mix it around. And coconut oil can be a little difficult to measure because of it's kind of chunky. So because of that chunky structure. So if you're making this on your own and you're a little worried that, you know, maybe you got closer to, I don't know, 2 3/4 teaspoons and tablespoons instead of 3, it's really not the end of the world. It's not like this is something like, you know, cooking where you have to worry about, you know, food poisoning or something not really working as well or tasting as good. As long as we've got, you know, at least close to the right amount, you're going to be a-okay. So no stress. So I'm just going to scoop a bit so I can hold it close so you can see. So this is basically how it's going to look. So it's, ooh, I'm getting a facial scrub on my hand. So it's basically it's going to be very grainy. It's supposed to be, that's okay. So basically the grainy texture is going to be helping to exfoliate your skin while you use the scrub. The coconut oil is going to function as a nice moisture locking feature. So it's going to help moisturize your skin, lock it in nice. This scrub is also great for giving a nice brightened appearance to your skin, removing cellulite, and delivering nutrients and antioxidants. Coffee is actually really good for that to have in your scrubs. So this is a nice multi-benefit mask. So when you're ready to use it, or when you give it as a gift, so you can let the recipient know how to use it, you're gonna just gently massage it in a circular motion. You can use it on the face. You could also use it on the body, whatever you'd like, before you go into the shower, not during, before. After your shower, when you've rinsed it all off, just pat your skin dry and apply moisturizer. Then massage the mixture in a circular direction for about 5 minutes in the targeted area. If you like, say for instance, you really want to brighten your cheeks, I know I do. So then I would just kind of go back, take a little bit now and just massage it again for about 5 minutes. If you don't feel like doing it for the whole 5 minutes, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just do it for as long as it won't drive you crazy. For best results, you want to do this 2 to 3 times a week. I would not recommend doing it more than 3 times a week because anytime you're exfoliating your skin, you don't want to over exfoliate because we want to be gentle with our skin. The more you exfoliate, or I should say, if you exfoliate too much, you can actually exacerbate the problem. So for example, if you have really oily skin and you over exfoliate to try to just like get all that oil out, and because it can be frustrating from experience. I know, and I've made this mistake, and you try to just scrape it all away. Your skin tries to heal itself and reacts by making more oil. So you actually end up kind of cutting your nose to spite your face. So 3 times a week max. If you take a hot shower during, in that in between, so you apply it, you take the shower, it's a hot shower, and then you come out and do the targeted area, that's going to help your skin get maximum benefit because it's going to open up your pores, right? Just like we said before with the mask, you want to use warm water to wash the mask off because you don't want anything to get sealed in your pores. Same idea, but this time you kind of want it to get in your pores, right? So a little bit of the opposite reason, but same idea, that hot or warm water can help open up your pores, clean them out, and also allow the facial scrub to really get in and do what you want it to do. Okay, so any questions about what we've gone over so far, or the process of making the mask? I just want to make sure I'm not leaving anyone behind.
Megan, we did have someone, I think she says never mind at the end, but the question was about, do you need to measure the ingredients or just put them together? So I believe you have everything pre-measured, right?
Oh, for what I gave you, yes, I pre-measured everything for you. So it's nice and low effort for you. I wanted to make it as stress-free as possible for you. But again, when you're making this on your own and you're measuring, like I said, especially with the coconut oil, it's kind of tough to get an exact tablespoon with it because it is very chunky and the chunks can be kind of hard. So if you don't have like an exact 3 tablespoons, it's okay. Because none of these ingredients are going to be harmful if they're not in the exact proportion. It's just, this is the ratio that works the best. So that's what you want to aim for.
I have a question.
Sure, go right ahead.
I have a question about the coconut oil. Is
Yes.
that raw?
So this is virgin coconut oil. It actually doesn't say. Okay, yeah. So it's unrefined, cold pressed.
Ah, okay. Because I have some and it doesn't smell the same. This one, it smells like I want to eat it. It smells so good.
The one that you have, is it like liquid?
It was like the liquid at the beginning, but now it's like all settled and I have to put it like in warm water to get it liquid again.
Because I'm wondering if maybe you bought fractionated coconut oil, because that we're actually going to also use tonight. That is, it's meant to be in like an easily pourable format. So you're not going to get like the chunks like you want to get for this scrub. So I'm wondering if maybe that's what you got. But yeah, this is just unrefined.
Unrefined, okay. All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Again, if you think of anything, feel free. All right, so now you've got your scrubs. So moving along to perfumes. Perfumes are probably the most problematic. The reason is, and I'll show you, they're the least regulated, which is pretty concerning. So these are just some of the ingredients that you will commonly find in perfumes. So the reason that perfumes are so particularly dangerous, aside from the fact that there's something we use, or well, many of us use every day, or at least, frequently, they have unregulated ingredients in them. And the reason that they're able to have those unregulated ingredients is because of essentially taking advantage of a patent law. So perfumes are all about fragrance, right? So they claim they don't want to give away their trade secrets by divulging to someone who could be a competitor exactly what they put in their perfume. And that allows them to not disclose all of the ingredients in their perfume. So there are some chemicals in perfumes that are essentially hidden. And sometimes they can be hidden for a reason because they are so harmful. So I listed some of the effects here that you can see. So we've got hormone disruption, we have fertility issues, cancer, neurological deterioration, chronic lung disease. It's pretty scary stuff. There's also, I wanted to mention, and this is the perfect time, there is a book that I had actually just read, and I was thinking of all of you when I read it recently. So it's called Countdown, and it's by Shauna H. Swan. She is a leader in her field. She's very well respected. And basically the book is all about how chemicals in our everyday life are affecting fertility in pretty much everybody. It's definitely an alarming read. And I will warn you, it can be a little dry at times. She does go into a lot of kind of the nitty gritty of statistics and things like that. But if anyone's interested, it is a good book. It's definitely eye-opening. So a lot of the chemicals that we talked about tonight that are in all these beauty products, especially in perfumes, are some of the ones that she talks about in the book that are just so dangerous. So I know we all have busy lives. We're also in a crazy time right now. So even, quick, nice, easy recipes for, a face mask like we did tonight. I mean, a face scrub like we did tonight. Sometimes you just don't have the time or you're just tired, So I would say personally, if you're going to kind of prioritize and, you might just make one thing to start, I would say start with the perfume. That would probably be the first thing you'd want to cut out. Perfume, followed by any sort of hair care product, like how I was saying about the natural shampoo. Because again, it's, close to your brain health and everything. So perfume followed by shampoo, I would say are the two that you would probably want to prioritize. Just for your health and for your safety. So the good thing is though, perfumes are actually nice and easy to make. So I packed everyone. I got these cute little gold and clear perfume rollers. They look very classy. So for a perfume roller, they're out there. They're not as common, I feel like, as the spray. So you basically would just you'd open it up, take the little ball and just roll it on your skin. And that's going to allow the fragrance and the liquid, if you will, to just lightly come out on your skin. So what I did for you is I already put some fractionated coconut oil in your roller bottle. So it's all pre-measured for you. For a roller of this size, you want to only put in about 4 drops of essential oil total. So if you are, say, combining like a citrusy scent and a woodsy scent to make a nice, combo, it wouldn't be, okay, max 4 drops of lemon and max 4 drops of cedarwood. It would be 2 and 2. It's all in proportion. So you want, for this size, no more than 4 drops total. So, and just to avoid confusion, this says 5 drops, but because of the size of these bottles, I just wanted to go on the cautious side and say 4. If you really filled it up to like the tippy top, you could do 5, but just for caution's sake, to make sure everyone's safe, I would say 4 for this size, okay? But if you've got like a full 4 ounces of carrier oil, I recommend coconut oil. If nothing else, just for fragrance, really. If you've got your full 4 ounces and you know that you've got no less than 4, then you can do 5 drops. So you've got your roller already with the fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated just means that it's essentially in like a melted state, if you will. It's easier to pour. And in this case, it means it's easier to come through the roller and actually make it onto your skin. So you've got that in here. And then you'll see there's a glass jar where I packed you some essential oil. That essential oil is not diluted. So do not touch that with your bare hands. I gave everyone a pipette so that you can measure out your 4 drops into the bottle without having to touch the oil at all. So the tops of these I had already taken off, to put in your coconut oil, but also just to make sure they weren't stuck on too tightly. So they should be relatively easy to remove. The trick that helped me though, if you need a little extra oomph, was even before I put my nails in, I just kind of wiggled it a bit and that worked magic. So just if it helps. So again, you're just going to open it up, take your pipette, take up a little bit of essential oil, and then just only put 4 drops in here. And you'll see I gave you way more than 4 drops worth of essential oil. So you'll have enough if you wanted to make several of these as gifts, or even just to, if you're just keeping this for yourself, if you wanted to just refill it from time to time, you'll be set for a while. So I'll give everyone a second to do that.
Megan, we had a couple of questions on the chat.
Sure.
First is jumping back to the coffee scrub. Should that be stored in the refrigerator?
You actually don't have to store it in the refrigerator. The coconut oil can be at room temperature. When it's just, used on the surface, that's okay. If you'd like, you can put it in the fridge, but you don't have to. Because again, we're not consuming it.
Excuse me, this is lavender oil you gave us?
I gave you lavender, yes.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then the next question is, Annalise is asking, I have a food flavor rose that contains propylene glycol water, aromatic chemicals, and natural essential oils according to the label. Is that okay to use?
To be honest, I would definitely check with your doctor or at least a dermatologist, because I don't have the full training to be able to tell you yes and know for sure that you're going to be safe, and I want you to be safe. Just a gut reaction though, the aromatic chemicals makes me a little nervous just because I don't know exactly what they put in their aromatic chemicals. But it could be something that, ends up being totally harmless. So I would definitely wait and either ask a doctor, a dermatologist. You might even be able to ask an esthetician and see what they say just before you use it. Because you also want to make sure, kind of going back to that first slide with the precautions, these things, while they, or I should say the oils really, especially while they're natural, they do have an effect on the body, and they have these great effects. Lavender can be so calming, and you can get, there are almost encyclopedias of essential oils where they'll tell you all the benefits. Some help with your immune response. It's incredible. So they have these great effects. However, it's an effect. So if you're taking a medicine, it can interact with that medicine, and even a great essential oil, when it interacts with a medicine, may become not so great. So before you try anything new, even externally, which these would all be external, you want to check just to be on the safe side. Because the last thing I would want is for, someone to try to be making a really positive change in their life and end up, getting hurt or having even just something unpleasant happen. So when in doubt, always check. Your dermatologist can also do what's called patch testing. And it's basically like allergy testing, if you will. It's kind of like a bulk test just to see if you've got kind of any underlying sensitivities going on. I know for myself with my sensitive skin, they were looking at potentially doing it to see if I had a sensitivity to any products that might have a little bit of nickel in them. So even like commonly used, even not beauty care products, but just things around, just to see if, even though I didn't necessarily react when I touched those things, there might have been kind of some sort of like intolerance, sensitivity going on below decks, if you will, like not on the surface, but like, internally, when I came in contact with those things. So dermatologists are great for being able to kind of help pinpoint what might be going on, aside from an allergist, of course. And if you have questions that are not quite in their area of expertise, they'll always direct you to someone who can help. So definitely you want to consult with at least one medical professional, because then, if need be, they'll help you consult further if needed. Okay. Is everyone okay with the perfume? Any further questions? Okay. Does anyone need me to go back over anything too before I go forward? Because there's so much information that I wanted to pack in here for you. I don't want to go too quickly.
About shampoo, which brand do you recommend?
So I use, I'm just going to go back to the shampoo slide just to give it context. Let's see. Okay, so I use Dr. Bronner's, and that's the Castile soap. So,
how do you spell?
Oh, the Dr. Bronner's, it's DR.
DR.
Mm-hmm.
For
then,
doctor.
Right, like doctor, and then B as in boy, RO, N, yep, N as in Nancy, another N as in Nancy, ERS.
ERS. Bronner's.
Yeah, Dr. Bronner's.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are definitely other ones out there. I just really like that one personally.
I can find that CVS or some pharmacy store.
I don't know if CVS carries it. I know Target carries it.
Oh, Target.
Whole Foods carries it. You can get it on Amazon. I think recently Stop and Shop might have started carrying it as well.
Wow.
They may not have all the different varieties of it. They may just have unscented, and they may not have the lavender or mint ones, but they definitely have some of them there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So yeah, you're just going to take whichever Castile soap you choose, and you're going to combine that with the water, and that's it. That's all you need to do. So it's basically, you're just diluting it a bit. And just helpful hint for anyone who might be interested. The Castile soap that has that little bit of mint in it is actually a nice face wash as well. If going back to, again, soap-based cleansers, right? So if soap-based cleansers might be a good fit for you, I would definitely recommend trying, again, diluted, but trying that liquid Castile soap with the mint, because the mint will actually be really good for preventing some acne. So if that's something that you're struggling with, because again, I think a lot of us have experience with the maskne, you could definitely try that.
Oil?
I'm sorry?
You mean mint oil? Mint.
Yes. So the one that they have that's mint, it's actually already mixed in for you. So it's already diluted, it's already mixed in as part of the soap. And it's also from Dr. Bronner's.
Oh, I see.
So you can get unscented, especially if you have really sensitive skin or you're not sure what might work well for you yet. You can always start with unscented. But you can definitely use the mint if either you just like kind of like that clean, fresh scent of it, or if you want to use it as a face wash, just kind of as like a targeted wash as well if you need. There's that. I use the lavender just because it's nice and calming. So it's really a matter of personal preference and also what works well for your hair or your skin if you're using it as a wash. Any other questions? No? Okay. So let's see, where did we leave off? We were here. Okay, so then just to briefly touch on mani-pedi care, nail polish is also pretty brutal when it comes to ingredients. I think at this point we're all sensing a trend here. They can even have formaldehyde in them. We see the parabens popping up again, and a whole bunch of things that are quite frankly pretty hard to pronounce, which usually when you see a long, interesting looking ingredient like that, it's usually not natural. So the toxins in these nail polishes can cause liver failure, organ damage, hormone disruption, cancer, and abnormal fetal development. So just as, you know, for anyone who's pregnant or planning on becoming pregnant, sometimes, you know, doctors will give you a list of, like I know certain cheeses you can't have because they aren't pasteurized, you know, they'll give you a list of things to avoid. A lot of these beauty products may not be on the list, but they're pretty scary. And they're definitely something that you want to be going into with your eyes open so that you can make your own decisions, and whatever you may decide, you can at least know that, you know, you've weighed the pros and the cons and the risks. Same also goes for essential oils. If you are pregnant or planning on becoming pregnant, just like I said in the beginning with they should be kept away from babies, definitely check with your doctor just to make sure that everything is okay and safe to use for, you know, maybe safe for you, but you want to make sure it's also safe for your little developing human. So with nail polish, lots of issues, as with many of the other products. However, oops, sorry, these got a little out of order. There are nail polishes out there that are what are called 7-free. And that means they are free from the 7 most toxic ingredients in nail polish. So they're not completely natural. They're not, you know, 100% perfect. However, they're a better option at least. The brand with the cute little elephant, Ella plus Mila, they actually have a mommy collection. The way they market it is that it's, you know, meant for mothers who are either currently growing a baby or they are, you know, maybe breastfeeding where, you know, what's in their body is still affecting their little one. So if anyone is a mama, they do say that it should be okay. However, I would still recommend checking. But for any mamas out there, want to make sure your little baby's safe, it is an option to maybe ask about. That might be worth investigating. So they are 7-free. Pacifica is another brand that is also 7-free. And actually just, how was it? I think a week ago, I saw some of their nail polishes are now actually 14-free. So that's an even better step in the right direction. It's not all of their polishes. I think it's just a select few colors, but still 7 is better than none and 14 is even better than 7. And I did take a look at what some of the colors were, you know, thinking of all of you tonight in case anyone was interested. They did have some nice, like more muted colors. And they also had some bright ones. So regardless what your preference is, they did have a decent selection of the 14-free. And if you're really just not feeling any of those colors, when you take a look, you at least have the 7-free, which is, again, better than nothing. These are the 2 that I know of now. Again, any of the products that I mentioned here are just from my own experience and also just my own, you know, research, what I've looked into. None of these have been anything that I've been asked to promote or anything like that. These are all things that I have looked into for all of you and can honestly vouch for. So again, they're not perfect, but they're better than, you know, if you still want to have something on your nails, I know I do. You at least can feel a little bit safer putting it on. They do sometimes chip a little bit easier than other nail polishes. I used to use, Sally Hansen had a line that was hard as nails, that was supposed to be like so chip resistant. These, or I shouldn't say these, Ella and Mila I have used, and that isn't quite as chip resistant as Sally Hansen is, but it's not bad. They do sell a protective coat, which helps. And again, for me, I feel like it's worth it to then, I can still paint my nails, but it's not as scary. If you do have a nail polish that you're super attached to and you don't want to give up, no judgment, I would just advise, just to help yourself a little bit, make sure that whenever you're applying it, you're in a well-ventilated area. So, you know, like do it at the bathroom sink and just turn on the overhead fan if you have one, or open a window wherever you are, because some of these toxins get into your body just because you're putting them on your nails. But there's definitely a risk that comes from inhaling these nail polishes as well. We all know that nail polishes smell pretty strong. Like when you walk into a nail salon, you know where you are. So you definitely want to avoid breathing it in as much as you can. So this is just a very, very basic overview. I tried to squeeze as much information in here as I could for you, because I really want to make sure everyone, you know, is able to leave tonight feeling like they have a solid foundation and feels really empowered to kind of start going on this journey, if you will. So aside from being able to dig deeper into some of the areas we spoke about, there are also some other areas that we didn't even really get to touch on tonight that you can look into if it kind of piques your interest. There are a lot of natural deodorants available. There are even recipes for like do-it-yourself at home ones. I haven't had luck yet. I'm still on the search. It's been a very long search. So I don't really have one that I can recommend to you tonight that I've had great results with. It's been a very long search for me. But they are definitely out there. So feel free to definitely start investigating and seeing what's out there and giving things a try. Because your skin is probably, even if it's sensitive, it's probably not quite as temperamental as mine is. So you'll probably have more success. So definitely feel free to look into that. You can also look into natural moisturizers. We did talk about how, especially the coconut oil, can be great for moisturizing your skin. But again, the coconut oil isn't something that we want to leave on long term. We want to use it, enjoy it, and then get it off so that it's not clogging our pores, because it will otherwise. So if you want to have a leave-on moisturizer, that's something else you can explore. Natural bath treatments or bath bombs, natural lip balms, facial steam treatments. A lot of times, you know, if you're feeling congested or you have a cold, I know there's like the classic at-home remedy of you boil water, or at least get it very, very hot, and then put the towel over your head, and you allow the steam to kind of get on your face and, you know, open up your sinuses, and you breathe it in. And while a lot of times that's used to clear your sinuses and breathe it in and lessen cold symptoms, it does actually have a great effect on the skin, because again, that heat, it opens up the pores, right? So it allows all those impurities to get free, if you will. So then some people will also take it a step further, and in that water, they'll put other ingredients that will also have benefits aside from just the hot water opening up the pores. So there's a whole area of that you can explore. There are natural face toners. There are natural hair conditioners, right? Because we talked about the shampoo, but there are also conditioners and hair masks that are like leave-in treatments, or at least you leave it in for, you know, 15, 20 minutes. There are herbal hair rinses, full body cleansers. If you want an easy full body cleanser, the Castile soap that you use for your hair can also double as a body soap. So that's a nice, easy one. It also is allowing you to kind of get a little more bang for your buck. That's what I use. I just get the Castile soap and then it suds up great. And I just use that, and it smells awesome, and it's nice and cost effective too, especially when you're diluting it. And then I also put together a list of ebook resources just to at least help you get started. Again, if you want to look into things further, these are all ebooks that you are able to access with your library card. I searched the South Country Library specifically. So these are all things that you will be able to get through your library and through their membership with Suffolk County Library System. Unless I missed something, I didn't see any physical books, but you can always interloan them. If you prefer a physical book for whatever reason, if that's just what works better for you, don't be discouraged. There are a lot of fantastic physical books out there as well. And you would just have to ask to ILL them. And if you've never used ILL before, it's nice and easy. You just ask for what you want. It is sent to your library, and then you can pick it up at your library, just like you would a regular book. You don't have to go to another library and pick it up or anything like that. Nice and simple. So that's always an option as well. But especially given that some of us might still be quarantining or, dealing with the way things are right now, I figured ebooks would also be helpful from an accessibility standpoint. So these are all ebooks available, again, with your library card for free. Some of them, let's see, oh yeah, herbs for natural beauty. That one kind of seems like it's not so much essential oils, but it still is natural. So it might kind of give you some new avenues to explore as well, since this was very essential oil based, because a lot of the recipes are. But if you do some herbs as well, that might be something cool to look into. All right, so I figured the presentation would go about an hour, which it actually looks like we're right on the dot of an hour. So I wanted to allow time at the end for any additional questions. I still have a half hour for questions, so there's plenty of time. Jen and I wanted to make sure that everyone has, I know there was a lot of information that I just threw at you. So we wanted to make sure it was about an hour presentation and then a half hour for questions. So please feel free.